The top end of the meta. This is a very interesting place to be for these nationals. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. So we're going to be going over 2 of the nationals over the course of this weekend here, because I wanted to see how the OCG meta has been holding up. I'm not going to lie, yeah, this is crazy. So there were 227 open entry here, and oh man, Voiceless Voice won the event. We also had Fiend Smith, Snake Eyes, or SQAs, Tempai, Fiend Smith, Voiceless, Fire King, Fiend Smith, Snake Eye. Fiend Smith Ubella actually did get a special top here. And then we had Snake Eye, Tempai, Horus, Chimera, Tempai, and Sinful Spoils, Snake Eyes, Fire King have a showing here. Good stuff. So winning the event here was actually Voiceless Voice. You do have the Odd Eyes Pendulum Graph built into the main deck here, which is decent, doing the 1 Sarvis. And then, of course, they're going triple Dynamondo. They don't have the triple Pot of Prosperity like the TCG does, so they're kind of forced to make these subpar choices along the way. And then, of course, the Heavy Storm built into the main deck there. Our second place here, this is kind of interesting. There's the triple Fiend Smith stuff. So this build has been developing pretty rapidly in the OCG. It's because the set 4 combo off of, you know, whatever you're doing with the Rescue A stuff is actually pretty strong against the meta. And who would have guessed that, right? We also don't have a side deck down here to really talk about, which is kind of sad, but okay. Oh boy, Tempai Dragons. This build actually main decked a Santa Claus. That's actually kind of crazy to think about. Okay. I also see that this build cited the Gravekeeper's Inscription down here as well. Huh. Okay, and then of course you do see the famous Kaiser Colosseums that this deck has been having access to kind of punish your opponents. And then of course our next Tempai Dragon deck down here, you don't see the Santa Clauses though. You still do see the Pogi Dragos, Pydra being reduced down to the 2. There's a Samurai Destroyer. We did main deck a Super Poly. That's kind of cute. So you could have Garua Mud Dragon to kind of clean things up. And then, of course, the Hida into the Promethean Princess in case of debarriering. And then, of course, side deck, there's the Kaisers again and the Heat Waves. Man, their meta is an absolute train wreck right now. This build actually had the Blue Angel Tears built into the main deck. Like, what? That's freaking hilarious to see. That card has been cited by pretty much everybody out here. We don't have a side deck for this. Extra deck is incredibly standard stuff. More Fiend Smith for you. It never really gets old. I'm not going to lie to you. Looking at this pile, this deck is so crazy strong. In terms of side deck, the good old Black Goat laughs for some value. Nothing really too crazy to see here. Next up here, there's the Blue Angels Tears built into the main deck. Again, I guess this card was really a good choice to be having in here for a strong presence. And of course, the summon limits. And then of course the one Mulchummy. I will say Mulchummy has definitely fallen from its former grace. Like, the card was anticipated to be so strong, but it has fallen so quickly. Our second Voiceless Voice deck here, we are doing just 1 Sarvis, no Pendulum Graph. Wow, they gutted out the Pendulum Graph out of the main deck. They don't even have the side deck present down here. So, and they're also only relying on 1 Sarvis. That's actually crazy to see. Okay, 9 through 16. So this is actually cool. So this is the current iteration of the Fire King Pure build. And, well, actually, they are doing the Snake Eyes stuff in here, yeah, as you should be. Basically, the little consort here gives you access to the original High Avatar Garunix. And actually, it's pretty consistent, actually. I would at least say that, you know, this deck gets a decent spot to enter in as a semi-strong rogue contender for your meta. Do not underestimate what this deck can actually do. Alright, even though you are paywalled behind a manga promo, which is kind of disappointing to think about, it does do some extremely interesting things. And then, of course, the side decking of the one of Skill Drain. Good stuff. We also have more Fiend Smith Snake Eye for you. Still deviating with the same standard stuff that you want to see. Lori with the Fiend Smith combo, no side deck present. Fiendsmith Yubel. Now, this is what I like to see here. So, we're only doing 2 copies of the Spirit of Yubel. Honestly, I can get behind this. Spirit sometimes feels like a dead draw brick. Not exactly the greatest card that you want to have. You've also got to remember you have the Create a card, Phantom Yubel down here. Phantom Yubel definitely gives you the chance to bridge the gap very, very ignorantly to make some strong plays. And, of course, 1-for-1 can actually kind of get you into some interesting places. Also, the fact that they cut back on the Fiendsmith stuff here, reducing those numbers, I do kind of like that. Having that smaller package, I guess, can ensure that you can kind of tuck in more of your engine pieces so you can do your thing. In your side deck down here, there's the Blue Angels Tears. You also have the 2 copies of Molchummy. You have the built-in Kaiju as well. Everything that you need is good to go. We also have more Snake Eyes for you. This build actually main decked, there can only be one. You're kidding me, right? This actually was successful? Okay, that's kind of crazy. We also had some Tempai Dragon love for you here. See, this is one of the things that I was like kind of worried about with this deck getting the chance to stick around with Baron, was you can actually end on the Baron and start doing some stupid stuff. You can also make the Cyberse Quantum Dragon for some free bumps if need be. There's the Quackimero Drago down there in the side deck as well. Horus Chimera. This is something that we've seen the TCG dabble in very lightly. Still doing the Horus package to get into the big vampire, to get the mills going, so you can kind of initially start combo. You still do the barrier statue, so you can do your thing. 1 Diablaze with the 2 copies of this. I also find it interesting they chose Dumbletef over Hoppy, but okay. And then, of course, we have one more Snake Eyes, or Tempai Dragon pile for you here. Main deck, incredibly standard, minus, you know, the argument for how many Pydras you want to play. Super Polys down there in the side deck. Okay, I will say, you know, for this particular event, for the Philippines, everything looks pretty... You got some variety. Now let's go down the rabbit hole. Oh, boy. So... Malaysia. This event is absolutely a train wreck in your top cut here for these representation numbers. 4 Fiendsmith. 1, 2, 3, 4. All Fiendsmith. Oops, all tier 0. And then you have Tempai with Voiceless voice. If you were telling me that, you know, our meta was going to look like this, oof. Okay, well, winning the event is pure Snake Eyes. Who would have guessed that, right? Of course, Triple Fiendsmith with the Lori for the full gas combo. The 1 tack talents, I guess that's all you really need here. Of course, the fact you can just go full mini Underworld Goddess combo and unlock and go is good. Your other copy of this deck, hey, look how, like, even with Wanted at 1, the Fiendsmith combo just replaced everything that, you know, you kind of needed to see. Actually, it's kind of cool to see down here. We did have the little Photon Karibo. You have the Druis Worm and the Magna Hut for the searchability, the triple summon limit as well. And see, this is why the TCG chose to ban summon limit, was because, you know, we were abusing this in such a terrible way that they needed to actually clean this up. You know, especially after you go like full combo, you flip summon limit, your opponent stares at you and goes, what am I supposed to do? Our next Fiendsmith here. Wow, we were feeling spicy today. We went ahead and we played some Bystials in our main deck. Ooh woo. We've also got, there's the 1 Karibo, the Rise to Full Heights, the Black Goat Laughs, all the standard stuff that we've been seeing for quite some time. And then, of course, well, more Fiendsmith. 41 cards. Everything looks incredibly standard here. There's the Karibo. Oh, we have a Tempai list. Okay. There's the Baron, the Assault Dragon as per usual. Of course, this build only played 1 Fadra. What? I also see that we have an interesting little friend down here in the side deck as well. We have more Tempai here as well. The 1 Fadra. Wow, this region really loves the 1 Fadra. I don't know if I'd be going with that, actually, but okay. And then, of course, the triple Heat Wave in the side deck with the Karibo for the mirror match. Oof. Well, I mean, the tech choices are interesting, to say the least. But, alright, so what do you guys think about everything here? Please, leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here in the day, guys. Patrons! Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.